Hi everyone, it's Dr. Jenelle Kim here. I want you all to know that I really appreciated the recent feedback to go over some gua sha techniques for facial rejuvenation. So that is what I'd like to go over in this short video. Gua sha is an ancient technique in traditional Oriental medicine, one that I actually use very often for physical imbalances, particularly for muscle and joint discomfort or tension, but also it's known to be used for things such as the common cold. So it really helps to release pathogens, which is what we understand the common cold to be in Eastern medicine, and it really helps with symptoms. And so how do we go about doing that? So in ancient times, they created any kind of tool or found any kind of tool. So this is a more traditional tool that I would use in those types of body treatments to harmonize the conditions that I just mentioned. This one is jade, and you can use different stones or different materials. I suggest that they are not synthetic, but you can use different materials, see how they feel on your body, because they help to harmonize in different ways. This is a jade one, like I said, which really helps to detoxify and purify. And for the facial, we will use rose quartz, which again has really incredible properties for helping to the flow of qi and blood into really nourishing the skin, for example. So when doing facial rejuvenation with gua sha, you want to really not pull or drag the skin. Very important. So let's get into it. Why is gua sha so important for the skin? Why is it such a wonderful technique? There's three things that I like to call out. Number one, as I slightly mentioned a second ago, it's very good at improving qi and blood circulation. You will always hear me repeat and say that the key to ultimate health, longevity, beauty is function and flow. You want to be nourished, but you want everything to be flowing properly because that's what makes for that youthful glow. That also helps with hyperpigmentation because everything is functioning and moving properly. It helps with fine lines and wrinkles, again, because that function and nourishing and everything getting where it's supposed to go. Number two, it helps with drainage of the lymph system. Really important. Both Eastern and Western, we all acknowledge this, to move those fluids. Because through that, it helps to move fluid, as I said, for puffiness, anywhere around the eye area and the face area in general. It also helps to drain toxins. This is really important. So as you'll see here in a second, the first thing that we do is get our bodies moving in such a way where the first thing it does is drain toxins and allows for everything that we're doing on the face to flow throughout the body because that's how everything kind of rebalances, if you will. The third important function for gua sha is that it really helps to relieve muscle tension. This is really important for the youth and the tone of the skin, I think is the best way to put it, right? So if even our neck muscles are tense, what it does is it pulls on all of the other muscles in your face. And what does that do? That pulling action, and you can just see it right here. If all my muscles are pulling down, that's what causes that sagging, right? And that's why we like to lift our skin. So it's very good for calming muscles so that all of the tension, all of the knots within our face and our neck are able to be released so that everything flows properly and doesn't pull. So the technique, like I said, we can do this on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. 2 to 5 times per week, you'll definitely see some amazing results. The first step is, I will take my tool. This is the one I chose to use today. Like I said, there's many different tools, and the truth is you have to find the one that you like, or you use what you have. In ancient times, when they did the scraping or gua sha technique, they were known to use a coin, a spoon, anything that they could find, right? This is for body treatments. For the face, we want to be a little more particular because we don't want to pull and drag. So this is the one I like to use. I like that it has these ridges right here because in some of the techniques that we'll go through today, you'll see it really does stimulate the acupressure points on the face, which is very important. When we stimulate the acupressure points on the face and the surrounding areas of the neck, the head in general, it really helps to further increase the circulation. And that is key, as I mentioned just a minute ago. The first thing we want to do is open up the neck. This is incredibly important. If you don't do this, in fact, it could contradict everything that we're trying to achieve because you're starting to move everything in the face, and if it has nowhere to go, that is not a good thing, right? Now we've gotten everything kind of riled up. Okay, and we want to be able to neutralize and balance the good with the bad, the toxins with what we're trying to achieve here. So I like to take this tool. You start at the neck. You can use this side, long side, that's kind of curved here. If you would wish, you can also use this side. So I'll show it in both ways, right? Sometimes it's nice to hold steady, or you'll see later to hold the skin taut. So here we start kind of behind the ear. In fact, I like to take the ridges. You have a lot of points around your ear and your hairline along your neck. So you kind of stimulate the points like so, and then you take the tool and you make it a little more flat, okay? And you make sure not to go too hard, even if it feels good. That's not the intention here. You take it and you move down the big muscle on the side of your neck to your clavicle. This is the line of where your lymph nodes are, and stay for a moment to stimulate those points. Do each of these strokes about 5 to 10 times. Then I like to go to treat the neck. Again, for the purposes of this video, I will stay on one side, and then of course you repeat that on the other side. After doing the downward motion on the neck to open up the lymph, then we go in an upward motion. Usually when it comes to facial or skincare regimens, you want to move in an upward motion because you want that lifting. Again, you don't want to pull or drag the skin in a downward motion, except for when treating the lymph. When it comes to the neck, I like to start in the center. I like to use the longer side, curved side. Start here and move all the way up. Like I said, make the stone even somewhat flat. You can even use the other hand to help support that. And when you stay there, you can move it a little bit to stimulate any points and meridians and facial fluid to move. And you work from the center outwards. Next, I like to move to the chin. So we take, again, I'm going to prefer to use this side for today to show you more of how to stimulate the acupoints. You take it underneath, flatten, and slowly and gently move up the side of your chin. End in the front of your ear, because like I said, there's so many points there, and take a moment to stimulate those points. Then let's move to the mouth and the chin area. Luckily, this is wide enough that we can reach both. You can always spend more time on one particular area, especially when you use the more concentrated or narrow sides. Here, we will go ahead and start by the mouth, holding the skin taut, and careful not to drag or pull the skin. And stimulate the points. Then we'll move on to the cheek area. You can hold kind of the side of your nose here, really just to stabilize, but again, you don't want to drag too much. Move over through that cheekbone, like so. Again, that's 5 to 10 times. Then we'll move to the eye area. Really important here to be very gentle, because this is a very delicate skin, and you do not want to pull this area, because that truly is what causes a lot of the fine lines and wrinkles. I like to hold right here, kind of stabilize, and you push up over. And here we're going to stimulate one of the most powerful acupressure points on the entire body, definitely on the face. In Chinese medicine, we call it Tai Yang. This is so good for relieving tension in general. It's the point right in that hole that you feel, your temple. Okay, stimulate there. Next, we're going to move to just below the eyebrow, the brow bone. Again, we can kind of hold our skin taut. You can fit that line between the 2 points and move over the eyebrow, again to that major point, and also points along the hairline here, and stimulate. Very important. Next, we will move to the forehead. For the forehead, you can use this side again with the ridges, or you can use the broader side. So in this case, I think I'd like to use the broader side. I'll do it this way so it's easier to see. You start right at this point. Actually, there's another point right in the beginning of your eyebrow. You can feel it. You can start to stimulate that. Make it flat. And I like to go in an upward motion, again, to train the muscles to stay up. And then we move our way from the center line over. And that is the basic gua sha facial rejuvenation massage technique. And so hopefully you can even see a bit of a difference right now from my right side to my left side, but it is something that is so effective. Like I said, helps to calm and release the muscle tension in our face. So it helps many more things that I'm sure I'll share at some point, like TMJ, clenching and grinding of the jaw. But for beauty and the youthfulness that we wish to achieve, this is an incredible technique, and one that I use myself frequently on a weekly basis, as well as on patients that I treat.